Hello and welcome. It is Tuesday, which means it is time for our weekly live training. So I hope you're having a great week so far. Lots of great information that I want to go through today. Keeping in mind we are at the end of November, which means we just have 1 month left in the year. And then before we know it, it's going to be a brand new year. So really want to focus on what you need to be looking at and planning for next year. So my name is Kerry Postal. I am the owner and founder of Abacus Business Solutions, and we help business owners to know, understand, and trust their numbers and help them to increase their profitability. Okay, so let's jump in. So we are going to focus on 2024, looking to see how we need to look forward into 2024, why it's important to think about 2024 now. Not in January, not in June, not in October. Now is the time to start thinking about your year ahead of you. So first of all, I want you to look though back over your 2023 numbers. Kind of where did those numbers, come in? Were you on target for those numbers? And I can see that it's shining right in my face. So give me 1 second. I am just going to close that. I hate to shut out the sun, but it's what it is. So yes, look back on your 2023 numbers. Are you going to finish where you hoped that you would? Are you on track to achieve your goals that you set for this year? If not, why not? What do you need to do different? What happened? Did something come up that prevented you from being able to achieve those goals? So look back, see if you were realistic about those 2023 goals. Did you underestimate where you thought you would be, or were you way over and just realized that goals are great, but you want to keep them realistic, but you want to stretch yourself as well. So if that goal feels too attainable and too comfortable, then go a little bit higher, but don't go to the extreme where there's if you're doing 1 million now and your goal is 10 million next year, probably a pretty good chance that's not going to happen unless you've got some crazy marketing strategy coming on board, along with a whole host of labor and all of that. But just be realistic, but push yourself a little bit further as well so that it feels uncomfortable. So it pushes you to do something to really hit that goal. Okay, so we're going to cover 3 different things. So first of all, I want you to think about your clear revenue goals for 2024. And in hand with that goes your net profit percentage goal as well. So you're always hearing me talk about how revenue is important, but profit is absolutely critical as well. There's no point in doing 5 million in sales and not making any money. That's not the point of being in business. The point is to make money, to be profitable. And so you want to make sure that those revenue goals and those net profit goals are both set. So think about 2023, where you're going to end up, and then what makes sense then to be a goal for next year. And like I said before, push yourself a little bit further. Where are you in your goals to be able to set that up? Where are you in your business that you're okay? If I want to attain that, then I'm going to have to do this, this, and this. So start thinking about okay, if I want to hit that, I'm going to have to increase, from 3 crews to 5 crews. If that happens, then okay, then I'm going to need somebody else in the office that's going to be able to help with the logistics and scheduling appointments. So think about all of that. It's not just a case of plucking a number out of the air for revenue. It's okay, in order to attain that, what else has to be in place? What else do you need to be thinking about in order to be able to achieve that goal? Okay, net profit. Look at your net profit margin for this year. See if that's on track as to where you wanted it to be. Do some research as to what other people in your business, in your industry are doing, and seeing if you can increase that. And then thinking about, we always talk about, doing that expense analysis. What expenses can be cut next year that aren't needed in the business? Subscriptions that maybe you're not using anymore. So start really thinking about what does that net profit number need to be as well. Once you've got that annual goal, then I want you to break it down into quarterly and then monthly goals as well. So the reason, we want to do monthly because you want to make sure that each month you have that goal to aim for. But we want to do quarterly as well, because sometimes if February is a really tough month, then you're like, okay, I've got March that I can build it up again. So really think about that annual goal, break it down into monthly, break it down into quarterly, and that way you've got something that you can be tracking against every month and every quarter. So for tracking all of that kind of thing, that's when you want to make sure you've got your software like QuickBooks Online set up, that your numbers are up to date and accurate, and that data is being entered every single week, and that you can see exactly how your business is performing, what's working, what's not working. So when you've got a goal, you've got to be able to then know what your starting point is, and then how are you going to know when you've met that goal? by tracking your numbers, by tracking all of your revenue, tracking all of your expenses, and knowing exactly how your business is working for you. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is identifying and planning for any big purchases next year. So do you know now what equipment maybe you need to purchase next year? If you're going to go from 3 crews to 4 crews or 5 crews, what does that mean? Does that mean an additional vehicle? Does that mean additional trailer? Does that mean additional equipment and tools? What is it that is going to also be needed in order for you to attain that revenue as well? So it always kind of circles back to that revenue. So you can't go to 5 crews and not think about, oh, that means I'm going to need another vehicle, because at a crew, it means another vehicle. So start thinking about that as well, and start thinking ahead of like, okay, when does that make sense? How are we going to afford that vehicle? Have you been saving for money, in 2023 for that because you knew what the 24 goal was? This is what we help our clients with, helping all the time is, okay, what is the goal for next year? Okay, let's start saving now, and then being able to do that next year. And so the same thing in 2024, as you're going through 24, if there's stuff in 2025 where like, okay, I want to go to 8 crews in 25, which means I'm going to need an additional 3 more vehicles, you got to start thinking about that sooner rather than later, and earlier in 2024, not in December of next year. So start thinking about what those big expenses are. Start thinking about how you're going to pay for those. Is there money in the budget now to do those? And just make sure that you're not going to sort of put yourself in a financial difficulty, and make sure that you planned ahead. You can't just increase the number of crews without thinking what it's going to take to actually do that. It's not just about hiring crew, it's about everything else that they need in order to be able to do their job as well. Okay, the third point is investing in growth. So training, marketing, expansion. That's what we're all about, growing our business year on year. So you want to make sure that you're putting aside funds for business growth, like marketing. What's your budget for marketing next year? That's the other side as well. You're doing your goals. We're going to be talking about budgets further down the road as well. So think about, what marketing campaigns, what are you doing right now? What's worked? What hasn't worked? What's giving you a really good ROI, return on investment? What has been great for your business that has brought in lots of leads that you've then in turn been able to, convert to customers? So start thinking about staff training as well in that. So you've got the marketing to be able to grow the business. Maybe you want to move into a different area of business as well that you've wanted to expand into. What is that going to take to do that? Maybe you need to send your crews off to training. Maybe you need to get somebody in-house to come and train people. You always want to be working with your staff and helping them to continually improve themselves and help them to, be better at what they're doing, or, train them in a new area if there's a new area of the business that you're considering opening as well. So when you invest in the growth in your business, it can lead to, more business because you're able to assist customers in different areas. And it can lead to higher profits as well. So if you've got a crew going out to a home, and rather than just doing the one service, there's now 2 or 3 services that they can perform, then it means that it's one trip, but different services but performing that, which then in turn means higher profits as well. So the last thing I want to talk about is I want to encourage you to think about one major growth area in 2024 and set a financial goal to invest in that. So what is one area in 2024 that you really want to see some major growth in, and really focus on that, and then start to think about how are you going to achieve that? So as with everything, when you've got goals and everything, it's not a case of just writing numbers down on a piece of paper, putting the paper to one side, and then looking at it every month to see how things are going. You've got to have a plan that goes alongside that. What is it that's going to help you to get to that point? What is your strategy that you're going to put in place so that you can then make that happen? Okay, so I hope that has helped you to think about your 2024. What is it that you need to do in order to be able to make that happen? What are the things that you need to start, planning on now? And, if you're doing a 1 or 2 week shutdown at Christmas, then I encourage you, just to take a day or, a couple of hours every, 2 or 3 days, and just to really think about your 2024 and really think about how that's going to look, what needs to happen, and start writing those down. And if, needed, you might just need to do a brain dump of all the stuff that's in your head as to ideas and, actions that you've been thinking about doing. Get it down on paper, start making a plan, formulate exactly how you can make that happen. You can't just put everything into action in 1 month. You're just going to drain yourself and drain your staff. So you want to make sure that you are thinking about, what is it that I need to do? What is it I need to action? How can I help my business to grow? How can I help my team grow alongside me? How can I keep everybody motivated? And what do I need to do to put that into place and make 2024 the best year so far? So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to comment below. I would love to get in touch with you. And if you want a free strategy call, then put strategy in the comment box and my team will reach out to you to get you on my calendar. And let's just talk. Let's just talk about what you have going on. If you don't have your 2023 numbers done, then let's talk about that, because that's something you really need in order to be able to then look forward into 2024. You've got to get your taxes done. You need to know all your numbers for 2023. So let's get them done in QuickBooks. Let's get all your numbers together so you can see exactly how your business performed. And then you can use that information then in 2024, then to plan and grow from there. So if that's something you need, definitely put strategy in the comment box or just send me a direct message. And let's chat about how we can help you with that as well. So I hope that helps. I will see you next time.